With all the crazy stuff happening in the world right now, wouldn't it feel just incredible to approach your intentions this year from spaciousness instead of shame or pressure? Have you ever tried to set an intention and tune into, the new you, what you're calling in, and as soon as you start to claim that, your whole system quietly starts to shut down. You're sitting with your journal, ready to map out your big vision, and suddenly your mind goes blank. Or everything you feel or write feels too big or too small or forced or unrealistic. Or the more you try to think it through, the more overwhelmed you start to get. Or maybe actually you're really good at tuning into that bigger vision and you love calling in something big for yourself. But if you're being honest with yourself, as soon as you call in that big thing or name that big thing, you kind of go blank. You don't really feel connected to it. It's not that you don't know what you want, but the moment you try to name it for yourself, your body tightens, your chest gets smaller, constricts, your stomach drops, your throat closes a little. You're already worried about whether you can actually do it. You're already overwhelmed by the possibility and what you might have to do. You're already concerned about how things might change in your life or how it might affect people in your life that you love. You're already afraid of the rejection if it fails. And without realizing it, you start doing the very thing that blocks your clarity. And now you feel like you're confused. You're already talking yourself out of the thing you said you wanted. You're already preparing for the fallout, the what if fallouts, if it doesn't happen. You're already shrinking. Here's the truth. Intentions collapse for two reasons, and we're going to talk about that today. So if you feel a calling or a direction, if you are trying to set a goal for your life or trying to achieve something, but the moment you set that intention, you start to shut down. You start thinking you're unclear, or maybe you're just not disciplined enough, or you're not spiritually ready, and your intentions collapse before you even start. This episode's going to change that. If every time you name what you want, and then your mind immediately jumps in and you start to second guess yourself, or you can't tell if you're coming from intuition or fear or ego, we're going to shift that. And if you keep setting goals, making plans, trying to manifest outcomes, or working on habits and nothing actually sticks, if you can't figure out why change never holds, stay with me. We're going to unravel all of that today. Welcome. This is Leading with Spirit, the show for the spiritual guide who knows there's more. More depth, more truth, more realness in the work you're here to do. Whether you're a healer, coach, or intuitive, this podcast helps you reconnect with your gifts, trust your path, and lead from soul, not stress. Hosted by me, Spirit Bird. I'm a master shaman, best-selling author, and founder of Holton Healing Arts. My intention is that each episode brings grounded insight into spiritual growth, energy mastery, and the real-life journey of walking as a spiritual leader. You can find me at Spirit Bird Official. Enjoy the show. In a moment, I'm going to show you how to create intentions that don't come from fear or pressure. Intentions your body can actually hold. Intentions that are truly aligned. But first, you have to see the pattern. Once you can see how fear or pressure hijacks your clarity, then you can start listening instead of collapsing. And when you are choosing intentions that are actually aligned, you are far more likely to succeed in them, which is going to make you feel better instead of choosing intentions that aren't aligned and then feeling like crap because you didn't succeed. This is why starting a spiritual practice for the new year is really important. It gives you a way to set intentions, to set clarity for your time ahead, again, from alignment instead of force. And that's going to make you feel so much better as you are working to achieve those things. So what does alignment mean? Alignment just means that you're living in a way that's clear and true for who you are and is also connected to your higher purpose. In essence, it means that you're in your own true, authentic desires and on your path. When you reach a part of life where it feels like doors just keep closing, things feel really off, you're trying a lot of things and nothing seems to work, or you're unhappy all the time, it means you're not living in alignment. Being in alignment doesn't mean everything's easy all the time, but it there's a big difference between having life challenges and having life try to stop you. A calling, a direction, an intention that's made from alignment, those are more likely to succeed because it actually matches the path you're supposed to be on versus intentions creating from ego. And by ego, I mean the part of you that isn't true. We don't need to get rid of our egos. They're not a bad thing. But when you're creating intentions, we want to create them from alignment, not ego, right? Because the ego is the part of you that superficially wants recognition or is afraid of something it doesn't really need to be afraid of, or that people pleases, or that follows someone else's values of what life is supposed to be like. Most intentions collapse because they're created from fear. So let's start with the place where they start to fall apart. The moment you name your intention, again, you're tuning in to the next version of you want to call in. You're tuning in to what you want to be different in your life. You start to call it in and you suddenly feel discomfort in your body. Or you start to blank out, or you feel a lot of pressure or anxiety all of a sudden. Why does this happen? Well, intentions collapse for two reasons. One, you're trying to create them from the scared part of you, the part that's tired, bracing, or protecting you from disappointment. Or you're trying to create them from pressure, the part of you that says you should be further along, you should be better, you should be clearer, faster, that you should be different than what you feel right now. So both of these are coming from the ego, coming from the smaller self. If fear's driving the intention, your system, meaning your nervous system, your body, your energy, if fear's driving the intention, your system shuts down. If pressure's driving the intention, your system rebels. Either way, you lose clarity because the intention is being shaped by the small part of you. You're not choosing from what you're called to or the direction your soul really wants. You're choosing from a fear response. And here's where it gets sneaky. Sometimes your intention is aligned and you call it in and it really does feel good. You know, it softens you. You feel even for a moment, but you don't truly let it land. And then it can't anchor in your reality. Your mind swoops in and gets a hold of it first, right? So you've called in a clear intention, but now your mind's analyzing it. And it immediately starts trying to figure out the how. How will it work? What will it require? What will it affect? What if it fails? What if I'm not ready? And that fear shows up after the aligned intention because you're human. It's okay. And part of you is terrified and wondering if you can actually do it. What if you can't? Right? That feels really uncomfortable. You're overwhelmed by the possibility. You're afraid of how it will change things. You're afraid that if you fail, it'll confirm, your worst fears that you already carry about yourself. So your body tightens. And this is the moment I want you to watch for. You've called in your aligned intention, the desire, the thing you want. Your mind's gotten a hold of it. It's already questioning everything. Your body starts to collapse. And so instead of sitting in the vulnerability of your desire, instead of feeling the very normal fear that rises around what it might require, you try to escape the discomfort by finding the nearest exit route. And for most people, that escape route is external blame. So you're feeling this pressure And you begin to pin it on something outside of yourself so you don't have to hold the truth of what you want. And you don't have to hold the discomfort that comes up around what if I fail? External blame can sound like, well, life is too chaotic right now, or the economy is bad for growing my business, or my schedule doesn't allow me to focus on my health right now, or my partner wouldn't like this, or my job makes this impossible. When pressure or fear is coming from out there, then subconsciously you don't have to face the deeper truth that you do want something and that the choices you might need to make to go for it. You don't have to face any of that. People who stay stuck use these external reasons to postpone their aligned intentions. They tell themselves, I'll come back to this when life calms down, or this isn't the right time, or I'll wait until I feel more ready. People who succeed don't take the bait. They see the challenges. It's not like you're not supposed to have challenges. Alignment is not if there's no hardship or challenges, if it's only ease and it's aligned, and if there's challenges, it's not. That's not what alignment is. People who succeed see the challenges without making them an excuse. They notice the discomfort, they acknowledge the fear, but they don't let it override their clarity. They don't need the fear to disappear before they move either. They don't get rid of fear before they take the action. They understand the next aligned step is actually what loosens that fear. So if this resonates and you want to be able to tune into and follow your calling and your goals more clearly, I'm going to walk you through a really simple spiritual practice that keeps your intentions from collapsing the moment you name them. That's going to help you navigate that difference between having clear aligned intentions that you can follow through with and ones that are made for ego that just make you feel like crap. So I've broken this down into 6 steps. The first thing is you got to start by naming what you think you want. You got to start somewhere. What do you want? What do you want to be different in your life? Again, people who stay stuck try to get the intention perfect before they even let themselves feel it. They start overthinking before they even start to name the intention for themselves. People who move forward, they just let the desire be simple and honest, regardless of what that desire might be or what people think of it. So the first step, just name it. So I'm going to work with a couple examples. Let's say one intention could be that I want to lose weight. Another intention would be I want to make more money this year. So just name it, even if it's messy, even if it's half-formed, even if you don't know how you feel about it yet. Step 2, you're going to immediately check your body for alignment. How do you do that? Your body tells the truth before your mind gets scared. So this is how to check if your desire or goal is coming from alignment instead of that ego, the small space. So the way you check is if you feel a softening, an opening, kind of a settling, like if you start to feel calm or rested. For me, it often feels like a click. It's like, this feels true. So that's alignment. Things like tightening, clenching, going blank, urgency, that's a big one. That's ego or fear. So let me walk you through this like a live check-in together, because this is the part where people can get confused. Because sometimes it is hard to discern because we can feel multiple things at the same time. So let's say your intention is you want to lose weight. You tune in, you immediately feel your body tighten. Your mind likes the idea. You're like, well, that sounds good. Your emotions are kind of mixed and you don't know if it's aligned or not. So here's the check. If you didn't have to worry about how it would happen, whether you would succeed, who it would affect, or how anyone might judge you, would you still want it? Would you still be calling this in? If the answer is yes, then that's clarity, right? So if you're getting good signs in your body and it doesn't matter what anybody thinks, or even if you accomplish it, then it's aligned and you get to move forward on the next step. If it's a no, this is step two. You're going to go one level deeper. This is the step that drops you instantly out of the number one block that I see here, and that's bypassing intentions that are created from shame or pressure, right? So the number one block is creating intentions that are actually from the small self. This is going to let you bypass that, and then you can find what you really want and make an intention that's aligned and also more likely to succeed. So instead of chasing the external thing, like I'm going to lose 10 pounds or I'm going to make $500,000, right? Ask, what is the quality I'm actually wanting? So like not the job, the freedom, not the relationship, the connection, not the money, the stability, not the habit, the vitality, the way you feel. So let's walk through this again, really specifically. Let's start with the losing weight. Ask yourself, what do I think losing weight would give me? Right? Because you checked and it was not in alignment. You got too many signs from your body that didn't feel good. So what do I think losing weight would give me? Maybe the answer is, well, I'd finally get the right relationship. Well, now you can see why your body tightened, because what you truly desire is the relationship. But your ego decided you got to lose weight to get that. So the aligned intention isn't to lose weight. The aligned intention is that you're ready for the right relationship. Or maybe your answer was, I want to lose 10 pounds because I want to feel strong in my body. Now you're clear. Your true intention is strength, not weight loss. That's alignment. That's the real desire. And that means your system can hold it, because you're not going to be shaming or pressuring yourself. So let's do the same thing with, I want to make $500,000. I want to make more money. So you call that in for yourself. You're tuning into your body. Your throat closes a little bit. Part of you gets excited. Part of you gets nervous. Your mind's already spinning a little bit on logistics, outcomes, risks, calculating everything. You feel tempted to blame external things. Remember that little sneaky one? You're like, okay, so you're starting to feel, you feel excited, but you feel this pressure. The pressure doesn't feel good. And instead of having to face the desire and do what you need to do to go after it, you're tempted to blame external things like, well, society is always pushing people to want more. Or I shouldn't want this. I'm a bad person if I want this. Or this is capitalism, right? You're not sure if the discomfort is misalignment or fear. So go back and check again. If you didn't have to worry about how it would happen, right? Like, oh, maybe I'd have to step on people for this to happen, or I'd have to be ruthless, right? If you didn't have to worry about how it would happen, whether you could do it, whether you'd succeed or not, how it might affect others, or what other people would think, would you still want this? Again, if your answer is yes, then you know that the desire is real, that it's authentic, it's aligned. But if you're creating from pressure or fear, now you can re-anchor. So if the answer is no, then follow the thread. Ask one level deeper. What did I think more money would give me? Because the answer might be, well, I'd have less stress. So now you know the true intention isn't actually money. The true intention is ease. Or maybe the answer was, well, I just want a little bit more cushion so I'd feel safer. Okay, great. Now the aligned intention is safety. Or maybe you'd feel proud of yourself. There's nothing wrong with that, But now you know the real intention is self-respect, not revenue. So people who stay stuck try to manifest the thing, the specific, and from ego. People who move forward ask for the quality behind the thing. That's what alignment means spiritually. Whatever you find, whatever you've uncovered here, that's the aligned intention. So step 4. Okay, so now you have some feedback on your intention, on your desire, on your goal. But here's the part where everybody bumps into next, pretty much. Aligned intentions can also come with fear. You probably already know this. There are things in your life you've chosen before that you knew 100% were absolutely the right choice for you, were absolutely aligned, and they were also still terrifying. So once you identify the real intention underneath the pressure or underneath the ego-driven version, the next question becomes, well, I got clear that it wasn't from ego, but I still feel discomfort. I still feel fear. How do I tell the difference between fear that comes from the aligned path and fear that's warning me that this is not the right path, right? Because the thing you're meant to step into often does bring fear. That's a normal part of it, right? You're not new to this. You get that being able to grow and learn and become the next best version of yourself to live a better life means you're going to have to face fear because things are going to get different. So how can you tell the difference? Here's how. It's pretty simple. Think of a time when you were scared, but you knew for sure it was the right choice for you. Take a moment, pause this if you need to. Okay, once you have it, when you needed to make a decision and you knew it was the right choice, but you were still terrified, notice the sensation of that kind of fear. What does that feel like in your body? Notice where it is, how it shows up. Okay, and I want you to remember that. Now think of a time when you knew something was the wrong choice. You knew it. If you're being honest with yourself, you knew it was the wrong choice and you did it anyway. Notice that sensation. If it feels like that collapse, that pressure, like your body's pulling inward or bracing or disconnected, that's good information for you because those are similar but still different forms of discomfort. And this is going to be different for everybody. That's why you have to check. And if it wasn't obvious, do this again and pay closer attention or pick times that were even more dramatic in your life so you can really feel it. Your body knows the truth every single time. It's not about the story of what happens. It's not about the logic of what seems right or seems safe or seems like the best choice. It's totally the sensation. So now you've clearly discerned two things: whether the intention itself is truly aligned and whether the discomfort you're feeling is the kind that shows you it's the right path or the kind of discomfort that tells you to stop. Okay, hang with me. Almost there. Step 5. Now we're going to get you back on the right track, get you away from pressure and into that openness and spaciousness. Most people collapse here after they've gotten clear on their intention because they go right back into pressure. Okay, it's aligned, it's true, I know it's meant for me, but how do I make this happen? How do I create this? What are the steps? This is how intentions die. You try to name it and claim it, and now you're totally in pressure vibes. Or you try the fake it till you make it and pretend it's already true, and you don't actually feel that way. So now your body's bracing and trying to figure out how to achieve the thing, and you're tightening and you're starting to shut down and you're all the way in pressure again here too. This is the difference. When we're creating intentions, we're not making demands of ourself or life. Remember, like that's number 2, creating from pressure is just going to cause us to rebel. We're not making demands. We're asking life to give us the experience that's aligned. We're partnering with life. We're partnering with spirit here. So instead of demanding, I want you to ask, what would it be like to experience this quality today? Instead of, I'm going to lose 10 pounds this month, it becomes, what would it feel like to experience vitality today? This is what I want you to ask life. Instead of demanding your intention first thing in the morning, ask it. Here's how life could answer that. Maybe you say, your friend randomly texts you and asks you to walk with them, and you never go for a walk, right? Like that's what it's like to experience vitality. Maybe you suddenly feel an urge to stretch that you didn't feel before. Maybe you feel a tiny spark of energy and you end up choosing to take the stairs instead of the elevator. Maybe your body naturally reaches for water instead of coffee, right? Those aren't goals, they're just invitations. Life is showing you what vitality feels like so you can actually feel it in your body rather than trying to force a system to make it so. Instead of making $500,000 this year because you want to feel less stressed and more safe, it becomes what would it be like to experience freedom today? Maybe a client cancels, right? And normally you would freak out. And instead of spiraling, you feel spaciousness. It's no sweat. I'm fine. Maybe you realize you're allowed to take the afternoon off and you're not going to like lose your momentum. Or maybe you finally unsubscribe from that thing that's actually draining you. Or maybe you feel a moment where your nervous system relaxes because you're not gripping your schedule so tightly anymore, right? So small openings, micro moments, but they register in your system and in your body as freedom, which is the thing you're actually wanting all along. And most of the time, the external thing that you were asking for follows that, but it doesn't matter anymore. And that's typically why you get it, is because the thing that your ego wanted, that thought it was going to free you, that thought it was going to give you the quality, doesn't matter because you're actually just getting the quality instead, which means it opens up ease around getting the external thing you're asking for. So it's how spirit guides you through feeling instead of forcing a plan. When you set intentions this way, your qualities instead of your outcomes, then life rearranges and becomes an entire feedback system. Now you're in a conversation with life. Conversations go deeper than plans. Boundaries get easier. Truth is gonna be clearer. Openings appear. Guidance drops in and lands. Your intuition is trustworthy. All of that comes from the simple twist from moving from a demand to, asking for the quality. Then number 6, we're going to simply integrate. So we're going to integrate with one embodied action. This final step keeps the intention from collapsing, allows you to follow through. So you're going to choose one truth you already know. When you called in your intention, you probably had an idea, something that was aligned for you with an action, a step, right? Not a 5-step plan, not a life overhaul, but just like one little action that expresses alignment with that quality you're calling in. And again, people who stay stuck, they wait for more clarity before taking that action. People who move forward act on that clarity. They act on the clarity they already have. For example, again, if you were choosing the weight loss, health, vitality, if the quality is vitality, maybe the aligned action is a 5-minute walk. Maybe it's just going outside and walking around your yard for a minute. Or maybe it was having that glass of water before you drank coffee. Small, simple, you saw it right away. You're not spiraling on what's wrong with you or how do you fix your fear of that change, but you just take the walk. You just take a step. If you were calling in more money, if the quality is freedom, maybe your action is sending one message to someone who already probably wants to work with you, or make one small upgrade to your pricing instead of worrying about what they will think. That's how alignment stabilizes. That's how intentions succeed. Intentions were never meant to be Goals. Goals give you aim, right? Like they give you, it's like the target, it's the direction. But without this process, the steps and checking for alignment, they can really easily be rooted in fear, which also means they come with shame, pressure, or blame, which means they don't feel good, which means we don't follow through. Intentions to succeed require resonance, meaning like they just feel good, they feel right. Alignment, not steps. The steps come later. Spirit doesn't map out tasks. Spirit calls you in a direction because there's something for you there. There's something better for you there. The journey is going to be different for everybody, of course. And of course, sometimes it's hard. But if you accept that calling, when Spirit's calling you in a direction, when Spirit's planting a desire, a vision for your life, a goal, when you accept that, the end result is always better than what you're experiencing right now. Always. Doesn't mean you have to make right now bad. It's always worth the journey. When you stop chasing those specific outcomes, the thing your ego thinks you need, when you stop controlling how you think it should happen, and you start following the qualities and engaging in that conversation with life, everything softens. Your nervous system steadies, your choices get clearer, your days feel more spacious, your intuition becomes trustworthy again. This is integration, right? This is embodiment, not the thinking kind, not the like, I know what I'm supposed to do, the living kind, meaning I'm that all the way through. So as you move into this year, don't worry about getting it all right. Just stay with the qualities. What do you want things to feel like? Let that lead. Let them soften you where you brace. Let them strengthen you where you shrink. And when you feel overwhelmed, because it does happen, it's okay. Just return to that simple question. What is the quality I'm really calling in right now? Let that be how you enter the new year. You don't become the next version of yourself by force or by avoidance. You become it by accepting the aligned desire you have and following the truth that's already inside you. Thanks for joining me today. If you enjoyed the show, would you subscribe and leave us a review? Let us know you did at Spirit Bird Official. We love to support our listeners. And if you enjoyed the show, please share it with someone else who would also enjoy it. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.